If you're looking for a budget mechanical keyboard, then this might just be it. This is the Galax Stealth 3 wired mechanical keyboard, and let's take a look at it and see if this would be a good option for you. Let's get into it. So firstly, for the price tag, you are getting a wired mechanical keyboard with hot swappable keys. You also get 8 replaceable keys, which are Atomo black keys, a keycap puller, and an ergonomic wrist rest, which is quite a lot for the price. Now, when it comes to the design of the keyboard, it does look a little bit more minimalistic and it doesn't scream gamer as much, which I am a big fan of. And it does make sense since you are able to use this on Mac as well, so this isn't just a gaming keyboard. Now, I do like the thin body design with the raised keycaps. I think it looks really good. The gray faceplate also really makes the RGB pop against the keyboard itself, and it also adds a little bit of style with the pop between the gray and the black keycaps. Now, if we take a look at the wrist rest itself, it is a flexible piece. It does have this sort of firm memory foam on the inside, this material on the top that feels a lot like a mouse pad, which really makes it easy for your hand to slide on top. And then you have this sort of rubber foot, which makes it easy to grip to almost any surface, which means it shouldn't slide around no matter what you actually place it on. Now, the one thing I also liked about this keyboard is the fact that it is a plug and play unit, meaning that you don't have to install any sort of software to your PC to make this keyboard work, and you don't need any software to actually control the RGB on it as well. So everything on this keyboard makes use of shortcut keys, and the keyboard itself can switch between 20 backlight modes, which are preset, which you can toggle through using the FN key and these arrowed numbered keys. You can also change the brightness and the speeds of the light. They even have 8 multi-game backlight modes, which are pretty interesting. And then lastly is a custom mode where you can assign the keys yourself. So be sure to play with all of these settings to make sure that you pick the correct lighting setup for you or for your setup. Now, the keys on this keyboard are blue Otimu keys, which have a sort of tactical feel, and it gives you this sort of mechanical keyboard sound without it being too loud, and they work really well in gaming as well as general productivity as well. Now, the one thing that was weird for me is the fact that the replacement keys are black and not blue, which means that if you end up replacing any of the keys on the keyboard, that you will end up with sort of a mismatch here and there. We'll have blue keys and then a black here and there. Now, this can of course be fixed by you just swapping out a blue from a key that you don't use as often and just replace the key that you use a lot, and then have the black keys be on keys that you don't really use. Or you can just go out and buy blue keys or any other colored key that you would want to replace either the entire keyboard or just the ones that you want to replace that are not working anymore. Now, my keyboard back in the day did have black Atomo keys, and I had that keyboard for about a year and a half. And I never had any issues with that keyboard itself, so you can expect sort of similar results with this one as well. Now, I did test out this keyboard on my MacBook and it worked extremely well. The only problem with this is that you have a USB Type A, and on newer MacBooks you only have USB Type C connections. So if you end up buying this keyboard to use on MacBooks, you'll just have to buy an adapter that goes from USB A to USB C. They aren't too expensive, but you'll just have to get that as well if you want to use this keyboard on a MacBook. Now, on the topic of not gaming, I did use this keyboard to type out a few documents, some scripts, as well as some general everyday emails, and it performed really well in all of those tasks. Now, the keys aren't the easiest to press, so if you're going to be buying this mainly for typing, then I would suggest just replacing all of the keys with linear switches. But for me, I do enjoy a tactical feel while gaming. So for me, the blue switches were amazing. And if you intend to use this for gaming and general productivity, then this is still a really good option. Now, in gaming, this keyboard performed exactly as expected, and I felt really comfortable using this. Now, I did use this keyboard in a bunch of different titles from CSGO, Apex Legends, Dota 2, and a bunch of different story-driven games, and in all of them, this keyboard performed really well. So no matter what game you actually play, you don't have to worry about that. It does perform really well in all of those games. Now, as far as how this keyboard sounds, here's a little demo of how this keyboard sounds with the blue switches on. Budget peripherals have really come a long way, and how this keyboard performs for the price is really amazing. This is a really good option for anybody looking to sort of get into the mechanical keyboard space and you don't want to spend too much to just see whether or not you will actually enjoy it. Then this is a really good option for that. This is also a really good option for anybody on a budget, whether that is you don't want to spend too much on the keyboard itself, or you just may have purchased a PC and you don't have that much money to spend on a keyboard, then this is a really good option as you're still getting a really good quality keyboard for a really low price. Now be sure to check out Matrix Warehouse if you want to buy this keyboard or for any other of your computer needs. And then until next time, cheers.